Hello everyone, the other player back, and welcome to another quick weapon guide for Warzone. I recently have been testing out a couple of LMGs, and I wanted to bring you guys up to speed on which ones you guys should be using, because I know it's a really popular overkill weapon to run an LMG. In the past we had the Bruen, which is what you see me right now with, and some people have been arguing, hey, the Stoner is also really good at shreds once you're aiming at people, and I wanted to give my opinion on both of them. So I've tried both out, and here's the thing, the Bruen is just 10 times better. I've had so many better experiences with the Bruen than I have with the Stoner, because the issue right now with the Stoner is that the Stoner can't aim down sights well. You can't improve it whatsoever besides its base speed. You can make it worse, but none of the ADS attachments actually speed it up. That might change in the future in a patch, but until then, the Bruen's going to be the way to go. And so, because of that, I wanted to show you my Bruen class that I've been using. This is one that is basically based off of the one that we had before, but I wanted to go right ahead, show you it, not waste any time, and that way you guys know what to run with. Also, show a Stoner loadout after that if you really want to run the Stoner for whatever reason. Alright, so, let's get in here, and this is the overkill class I run with it. I run the Monolithic Suppressor, the XRK Summit 26.8, I run the TAC Laser, the Cronin C480 Pro Optic, and the 60 round mags. So these first two, the muzzle and the barrel, these improve our range and make it so that way we have better recoil and bullet velocity, so at longer ranges we can be hitting our targets. Suppressors, obvious, you don't want to be on the radar if possible. TAC Laser and 60 round mags are to improve ADS, and the 60 round mags specifically improve a lot of other stuff. So this makes this very hard-hitting weapon, or maybe not hard-hitting, but pretty good-hitting weapon, very, very good in a lot of situations where a normal LMG would have to take time to pull and get out. And this C480 Pro Optic, it's just my personal preference. If you want to run a VLK optic, you can run that. If you want to run a freaking solo this optic, you could. Wouldn't really matter. You can exchange some of these out, and for reference, if you're wondering what I'm using, this blueprint is the Spoiled Rotten blueprint. You got it for winning a gunfight tournament, and most of these, actually all of these attachments came with it, except for the optic, which I changed up. But these attachments aren't too hard to unlock, except maybe the Monolithic and the 60 round mags. I think those come very late. But either way, even if you choose to run this with the bigger rounds or without the TAC Laser or something like that, it's still a very good gun. It's still very usable. But mobility is one of the main pros of this, so you want to keep that mobility high. I also run a submachine gun as my secondary. I usually put a bit of range on it, but you could use the Mac 10 here if you want. This is just my MP5, but you guys know how to run my MP5 and Mac 10. Alright, so let's say you want to use the Stoner. The Stoner is going to look something like this. Because of the glitched attachments, this is going to be about the best you're going to get. This is very slow to ADS, but it hits like a mule. Much better than the Bruen ever will. So we have the 17.8 Cavalry Lancer. It says vehicle damage. It actually increases bullet velocity or something like that. I don't know why. It just does. We next have the Agency Suppressor. For obvious reasons, this is basically your Monolithic, so we want to run this whenever we can. Field Agent Grip is to reduce recoil. You could run this or the Bruiser, but I prefer the Field Agent. And yes, the Bruiser does reduce recoil. I know it says melee quickness. I just prefer the Field Agent Grip because it actually says it reduces both recoil controls. Now, for all of these mags, we don't want to use them because they hurt our ADS speed, and we can't counter that in any way, shape, or form. So we need to only stick with these top two. Which one you use, it's up to you. I prefer the fast mag because I often put a lot of bullets downstream. and I really don't want to be spending 10 seconds reloading when my friends need help. In terms of the optic, this is really up to you. I prefer the axial 3x because the 4x can be a little much. It's a little zoomed in for me. And the SUSAT multi-zoom, in Cold War, it's fine. But they changed it so that way the middle area is way, like, it's a different, I don't know how to describe it, but it just looks different. Like, it's not a reticle, it's like a different glass. It's just very weird, and I really don't like it. It makes things hard to see. If you didn't want to run the field edge grip because you're good at controlling recoil, you can also switch it out for the SAS combat stock. This actually does increase your aim walking movement speed, aka your strafing speed, but it's up to you what you do with that. Alright, that's about do it for the class setup. Now I'm going to discuss the pros and cons of the Bruen and why we're going to want to use it. So, I'll put some gameplay here. You can obviously see that I'm doing very well with it. One thing we do want to note is that the Bruen does not have high damage. Compared to the other LMGs, it actually has a much lower damage because the even though it's got a fast fire rate, it's more designed for mobility. The reason you're beating out other things is because it's like an AR LMG hybrid, and we're gonna really take advantage of that by basically making it an AR with improved damage. And it also has better bullet velocity and range, so it still has those LMG attributes that give it little boosts here and there. We're going to really want to take advantage of those, and that's why we run what we do. If you want to have the 100 round mags, you can, but the 60 round mags just gives so much benefit that it's really nice to have. And I'm aware that the Bruen did get nerfed. However, it still reigns my personal favorite LMG. I'm going to try out the M91 as well, but I wanted to let you know that between the top two LMGs right now, which are the Bruen and the Stoner, they are the best, like, overall, at least according to what I've seen. Those are the two that we want to be comparing. I personally like the M91 when I ran it, but I'm going to probably try to run it again. The M91 is much more of an LMG, but it's really good at holding down stuff as well. I will note, if you are not looking to be mobile, if you are looking to hold down houses and move slowly, hold down head glitches, the Stoner might be more for you because you're trying to combat snipers and stuff like that. Just be aware, your ADS time is horrific. It's at like 350 milliseconds or something. I can't check the exact stats right now, but be aware of that if you're going to use the Stoner. Now, if you want to get it leveled up, that's certainly something I would recommend, because the Stoner, probably, if they get the attachments fixed, might reign supreme if you can kit it right. It might be a little slower, but its time to kill is much faster than the Bruen. I was shredding people way better than it, but the problem was I would always get hit more before I could aim down sights and hit people. But if I could catch someone off guard, I would win that gunfight. Alright, that's going to about do it. I hope you all enjoyed this quick tutorial, and that you use the Bruen in your next game, and you enjoyed this. Alright, see you guys next time. Bye-bye.